Hi guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're working on a full Heroes vs Villains guide. In this guide I'll be giving you tips and tricks on how to perform better in Heroes vs Villains and general tips and tricks of like do's and don'ts in this game mode. If you enjoyed the video and any of these tips and tricks helped you out, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps my channel grow, gets the video seen by more people and thus allows me to create more content. So without further ado, let's get into this. So my first tip is probably one of the most obvious ones, but it's actually work together and play as a team. This might seem obvious, but I see a lot of new players not doing this. Sometimes they'll rush into a group of 4 enemies and try to 1v4 them. If possible, try to play with friends in a party chat so you can actually communicate with each other. If you don't have any friends to play with or you're playing solo, just try and stick to your teammates like glue. Heroes vs Villains is the kind of game mode that basically means you'll win the better your team works together. If the enemy team's working better together than your team, then they're going to win. So even if you can't communicate with your team, just try and stick with them like you can see in this video. I was playing with one friend, and the other two were randoms. We was all sticking together, and we got an easy win. By sticking together, not only are you more likely to win the round, you're also more likely to get more kills and less deaths. So this is going to help you and your team in the long run. So next up is to master dodging or rolling. Dodging and rolling is very important, especially in Heroes vs Villains. Especially if you're playing as a blaster hero, dodging is very important. As you can see in these clips, I'm using Boba Fett and various other heroes, and I'm dodging through the enemy to get the advantage, and the enemy just does not expect it, and gives me the upper hand and allows me to kill them. Mastering rolling isn't easy, but if you take the time to learn how to do it, you'll see yourself winning a lot more gunfights. It's also useful for the saber heroes to learn how to dodge correctly too, because this will also give you the same advantage as it would if you was a blaster hero, allowing you to get the jump on your enemy and surprise attack them. When using a lightsaber and playing against a blaster hero or villain, be sure to time your hits, because if they've perfected rolling, you're going to miss a lot more than you're going to want to. By timing your swings between rolls and blocking in the meantime will mean that you're going to take no damage and they're going to take damage, rendering their roll ineffective. Another tip would be to use appropriate heroes. For example, when facing against a Palpatine, a Leia is a brilliant counter. Facing against a Leia, a Boba Fett is a pretty good counter. And facing against someone like General Grievous, again, Leia can be very useful because his stamina is very, very weak. So learning how to counter enemy villains or heroes is very important. For example, if you have a really good enemy Palpatine, you want to be dealing with him by countering him. Maybe switch to a Leia and try and deal with him. If you have a really good enemy Han Solo, maybe switch to an Iden Versio. Knowing your chosen hero's strengths and weaknesses is also very important. For example, playing Boba Fett on an indoor map is not always a good idea. As you can see, Luke Skywalker just killed me, and that's mainly because even if I use my jetpack, I have nowhere to go. There's a ceiling above me, so therefore I cannot escape. Boba Fett is not great in close quarters engagements like that. Although you can do well with him if you perfected your rolling, it's still not advisable. And there are heroes and villains that are much better and suited to this kind of engagement. For example, a good indoor blaster hero would be Iden Versio. I would also suggest looking up some heroes and villain star cards guides, as these can help you improve with the chosen hero or villain. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there helping you with this kind of thing, but I do have some on my channel if you're interested in those. A lot of other YouTubers also make these, so keep an eye out for them. And as we all have our own individual playstyle, I'd recommend taking these videos with a grain of salt. Use them and find out what you like and what you don't like and change them to alter your playstyle. I'll leave a link in the description so you can access all of these star card videos. Learning how to parry is a very important tip, especially if you main lightsaber heroes. As you can see on screen, Count Dooku is blocking and attacking at the same time, taking no damage and killing Rey. To parry, you want to hold down L2 or the block button, depending on what console you're on, and attack just as the enemy has finished swinging. This does take a while to get used to, but after a while and a bit more practice, you'll see yourself winning a lot more 1v1s. My next tip would be to avoid being ledged. Being ledged is when someone pushes you off the edge of the map. Many maps have places where you can be ledged, and learning where these ledged areas are is very important. If playing as a blaster hero, for example, on a map like Bespin, I would stay away from going in the outside area, as a Kylo Ren or a Darth Maul could easily throw you right off of the edge. This is an easy kill for the enemy, and it doesn't really require any skill for them. So this tip kind of ties in with the last one, but learn the maps. Learning the maps is actually pretty important. So learning what maps to use what heroes on, for example, if the map's more suited to blaster heroes or lightsaber heroes, What parts of the maps can you be ledged on? What parts of the map are best to camp or defend? Depends on how good the enemy team is. You might need to camp if you're playing as like a Bossk or a Phasma. They're the kind of camping heroes, so learning where to place your bombs and things like that. So just playing the game and getting a general knowledge of the maps is also very important. Map knowledge will just come over time, so just play the game and you'll see yourself improving. My next tip is don't be a hero. Don't get into situations where you're going to be 4v1ing or 2v4ing. Try to wait for your team to regroup together if you're outnumbered, and then attack the enemy. You'll be much more successful doing this rather than going into a 1v4 which you're rarely going to win. Even 4 low level players could easily destroy a max level player if they're 4v1 them. 4v1ing is not the way to go. Try and stick with your team and just wait for your backup to come. If you're new to the game, try to play more supportively than aggressively. Try and sit back and allow your team to do more of the front running while you sit back and do a bit more of the damage from behind. If you're a saber hero, obviously you can't sit back, but what you can do is wait for yourself to have backup, maybe another villain or hero helping you attack the enemy, and this will allow you to get the jump on them. 2v1ing or 3v1ing is actually a lot better if you're new, just to get the hang of your character. The reason I suggest trying to outnumber your opponent if you're new is because a lot of these people still playing the game are going to be very experienced. Whether they're high level or even max level, you want to try and outnumber them just because at the start of the game you might not have the skill level required to defeat them on your own. So learning the game by sticking together, maybe sticking with a friend or with another random in the lobby, this is going to help you learn your character, get better at the game, and then eventually you'll be able to get into those 1v1 situations where you could potentially win. Now, if all your enemies are roughly the same level as you, go for the 1v1s, but if it's a group of enemies that are much higher level than you, stay together, work as a team. Another useful tip is try to use heroes or villains that complement each other. By complement each other, I mean heroes, for example, like Phasma and Bossk. When paired together, you've got a droid that can stun the enemy, and bombs to also destroy the enemies if they come near the droid. These two heroes complement each other very well. For example, you also have heroes like Anakin and Han Solo, who also complement each other very well. You've got Anakin who can pull people towards, and Han Solo who can throw a bomb and detonate it at the same time. So just try and learn with the hero combinations. It can take a while, but it's also useful. If you see your teammates are being attacked and they're in a bit of trouble, try and help them the best you can. Don't just sit there and watch them die. I've seen a lot of new players do this where they'll retreat in a situation where they could have helped their teammate kill the enemy and they could have both survived. My next tip is don't saber spam. Saber spamming is when a lightsaber hero or villain just spams the R2 or attack button repeatedly. This actually gives your enemy an advantage, especially when they're playing as a blaster hero or villain. Saber spamming will drain your stamina, giving the enemy hero or villain the advantage, allowing them to shoot you while you're spamming and continue to attack you while you have no stamina and you are left defenseless. Don't jump when fighting blaster heroes or Emperor Palpatine. Jumping will just leave you open to attack, as you can't block or defend yourself while in the air, allowing the blaster hero or Emperor Palpatine to continue to attack you while you're falling. I see a lot of new players doing this and it just gets them killed. I hope all these tips helped you out and help you improve in Heroes vs Villains. If you liked the video, please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow, as the YouTube algorithm will promote the video more and allow more people to see. So I really hope this video helps you all out and gives you some tips and tricks that you may not have known. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.